What's good, y'all? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles. You're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know we always keep it real. Let's get straight into it, man. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. Share with a friend and share with a friend. And enjoy some real talk. We're going to talk this Eagles-Browns preview. Let's get straight into it. First thing, we're going to go over our three players. Three players that I expect to have great games. Great games. Bryce Huff, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. I'll say it again. Three players I'm looking for to have monster games are Bryce Huff, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts. Let's start on defense. Bryce Huff, you up to this point have probably been the biggest bust in terms of a free agent acquisition. So far in this league, you have given the Eagles nothing, nada. You can't get any pressures, any sacks. Not doing nothing. It's sad. It's disgraceful. Just like your number, it's been 0. You've been so salty that you've taken the Eagles stuff out of your bio, limited your comments. You've been terrible. So now that we got that out the way, I'm looking for Bryce Huff to finally have a breakout game for the Eagles. If there's a game that it's like Bryce Huff, it's your time to shine, it's against the Browns. It's against the Browns. The Browns' offensive line is possibly the worst, at the very least, bottom 3 in the league. Their whole offensive line is injured, except their left guard. Think about that. Their whole offensive line is injured, either questionable or out, except their left guard. Yes, Deshaun Watson has been holding on to the ball way too long, and he's part of the reason why he has a league-leading 26 sacks on him. But also, he has 26 sacks against him because his offensive line is terrible as well. Two things can be true. Deshaun Watson is a terrible quarterback, and now he's a bottom 5 quarterback, but his offensive line is also bottom 5, really bottom 3, and it's flat out terrible. So given all of that, I'm looking for Bryce Huff to finally have a breakout game. If you can't have a breakout game against the Cleveland Browns, what the hell are we talking about? What are we talking about? Then when will you ever have a breakout game? When will you ever be productive? Because if you can't be productive against the Cleveland Browns, we're cooked. And we might already be cooked, but that will just put the nail in the coffin in the Bryce Huff era. And if Bryce Huff can't be productive, we literally have to trade for an edge rusher. We have to. I know Hassan Reddick, he can't be traded, so it's gonna have to be somebody else. And I can make a video about who we should trade for if it gets so bad that Bryce Huff is a non-factor again. But I'm looking for Bryce Huff to have a monster game. Another thing, with this Eagles defense, I'm looking for this Eagles defense to break the will of Deshaun Watson. I will say it again for my people. I'm looking for this Eagles defense to break the will of Deshaun Watson in the most respectful way possible. I want you all to make Deshaun Watson rethink if he should still play in the NFL, because that's what the Commanders did. You saw him on the sideline. He did not want to play football. His heart, his will was broken. Because what did the Commanders do? They kept pounding and pounding and pounding. No diddy, but that's really what they did. I'm dead serious. And if I'm the Eagles defense, that's my goal. It's my goal for Deshaun Watson to get to the sideline and say, I'm done, coach. Hey, yo, Kev, put Jameson. Do it. You know what? I'm giving you authorization to go ahead and do what you've been wanting to do since game 1. To put Jameis Winston in, because I'm done. I'm not trying to put my life on the line out here. Because that's what he's really doing. how many times he's been sacked? I mean, it's been some big hits that he's been taking, Deshaun Watson. He ain't been good, but some of these hits, I'm like, my goodness, dog. My goodness. But again, I'm looking for this Eagles defense from Bryce Huff to Brandon Graham to Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I'm looking for these guys to make Deshaun Watson rethink if he should still play in the NFL. If he hasn't already. He might have already done that already, but we want him to rethink it again. Saquon Barkley. There's a crowd of Eagles fans and people saying the reason why Kellen Moore doesn't play Saquon Barkley in the first quarter is to preserve him. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what a good coach does. He saves his players for the playoffs. Doofus. You do realize that if we don't use Saquon Barkley earlier in the game, we might not make the freaking playoffs. Think about that. If you don't use Saquon Barkley in the first quarter, you might not make the playoffs. The Commanders are looking amazing right now. The Cowboys, they aren't some bums now. Use Saquon Barkley. You can't be scared. And I don't even think I feel like Kellen Moore wants Jalen Hurts to be Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott. And the thing is, the key for success, as what we've been saying for years and years with the Brian Johnson era, now the Kellen Moore era, we're telling y'all, run the freaking ball. Run it. Stop trying to make Jalen Hurts something that he's not. You don't see the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy running QB draws for Brock. They don't do that because they play to his strengths. He's great with anticipation. He's great. He's a very accurate quarterback. But they play to his strengths. And so part of playing to Jalen Hurts' strength is being able to utilize the run game. Because if you utilize the run game early on, that opens up the pass. I know that Kellen Moore has his philosophy that if you throw the ball early in the game, that opens up the run. F that. F that. F your game plan. F that West Coast style. Run the ball, cuz. Run the ball. Use Saquon Barkley. I'm tired of in the third quarter, we finally use the man, and he goes for a 60-yard rush. Use the man in the beginning. Because it's going to get bad. I'm letting y'all know now. If the Eagles don't beat the Browns by more than 7-10 point, they have to have a 7-10 point lead in that first quarter, or else Lincoln Financial Field is going to be filled with boos. Boos. We're fed up. We are fed up. We are fed up. We're fed up with these super slow starts. We're fed up with all these, it's just we're fed up with the BS. That's simply what it is. It's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, you have to use Saquon Barkley early to jump off to a big lead. Yes, A.J. Brown is back. Yes, Devontae Smith is back. Yes, Lane Johnson is back. But look, you got to use Saquon Barkley early on. And then that will open up a 60-yard bomb for A.J. Brown in the second quarter, in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter. Oh, really, I don't even want A.J. to play in the fourth quarter. It should be so bad. It should be so bad that we're talking about we're not playing the starters. No, come on. I'm letting y'all know now, I want Kenny Pickett to play in the fourth quarter because it should be such a blowout that we got Will Shipley in the backfield, we got Kenny Pickett, we got Johnny Wilson, and Jahan Dotson cooking. That's how bad of an ass whooping we should give the Cleveland Browns. The Philadelphia fans at Lincoln Financial Field deserve to see an ass whooping. They deserve to see a massacre. Nothing less. Nothing less. Jalen Hurts. That's my third guy. I'm looking for Jalen Hurts to finally have a complete game from start to finish. He hasn't had a complete game since that Buffalo Bills game almost a year ago. He has not. Y'all know how I feel about how I feel like the coaching staff isn't allowing Jalen Hurts to be his best self. But I was watching film, and I'm being objective. I was watching film, and I saw, like, all right, like, yes, had they put him in the best positions every single time? Maybe not, but some of these decisions that Jalen Hurts makes in the pocket, outside the pocket, they simply are not good decisions. That decision to throw the ball to Devontae Smith when you have a kicker who has proven to kick 60-yard field goals, you might as well do that check down instead of trying to just force the ball up the field. Same with this, what happened against the Packers. You throwing the ball up the seam, Xavier McKinney like, give me that. Give me that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Or you staring down, Devontae Smith, and maybe not his route should have been sharper. Maybe not the play calling. Well, it definitely should not have been for Devontae in that spot. But at the end of the day, you're staring down a guy in Honey Badger is going to pick that joint off. He's a vet. He know what he's doing. He know what he's doing. And then fumbling the ball, you going left. They're going to look to go ahead and strip sack you if you're going left, dog. If you're going left. So you got to be smart. Not every play got to be a hero play. Not every play got to be a hero play. So make sure that your pocket awareness is on 10, Jalen Hurts. I want to see that. I want to see a complete game. I believe in you. It's funny how all these other quarterbacks like the Brock Purdys or the Jordan Loves or the Sam freaking Darnolds of the world are getting glazed for not doing anything. I'll give Brock Purdy, at least he been to a Super Bowl. At least he been to an NFC championship. But all these other guys are just getting just passed over you for what? For what? So we need Jalen Hurts to have himself a game. On the Browns side, look, Deshaun Watson is not good. He's not a good quarterback. And we should really, really make him question if he should be playing football again. The Eagles' defense would not have done their job if Deshaun Watson isn't one of the big headlines and topics coming in Monday on these sports debate shows. If Deshaun Watson isn't the topic on these sports debate shows come Monday, and the question should be like, should Deshaun Watson still be the starter? Or Kevin Stefanski might have already named Jameis Winston the starter, given how bad the beatdown might be. I'm saying that's the goal. That's the goal that you want to go ahead and have. That is the goal. Again, let me know what y'all think. I'm trying to tell you, I'm scared for what might happen if we lose this. I do believe the Eagles will win. It's very, very hard for me to see a situation where this Eagles defense makes Deshaun Watson look like Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield at that. I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, like, I know I have my issues with the Eagles defense, but I'm so down on Deshaun Watson and him being an elite quarterback in this league. That trumps my doubts of this Eagles. If this was any other quarterback, Andy Dalton, a Gardner Minshew, I would have more confidence in those guys over Deshaun Watson. He's very, very bad. And Shan Sharp made a very good comparison comparing Deshaun Watson to Ben Simmons, because those are two players that when you look at their confidence, oh my goodness. It's like you were once a very good player, and then once your confidence was shot, you're one of the worst players in the league. And you can kind of like see it in their face. And that's what I want to see in Deshaun Watson's face. I want to see defeat. I want to see somebody with no hope. And I say this with the uttermost respect in the world. That might have been dragging a little bit. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Share with a friend and share with a friend. We're talking MJ. Eagles Browns preview. We out.